Hello everyone, welcome back to the Grand Prix Podcast. I'm Elton, and I am joined as ever by Andy.
Hello!
And you're back from your trip around the world. Well done to you.
I'm back from gallivanting, yes. Yeah. I survived. Yes.
Flipping hell, man. Every time I look on Facebook, you're there at an airport. You're like Billy Shearer, who's always on an airport somewhere.
On an airport, yeah. Not in the airport, on it. Literally standing on top of it.
Well, you know, big place mark saying, yes, I'm in an airport again. I would love to know what his job is.
I've got no clue whatsoever.
Yeah. Flipping hell. But yes, we're back. We're a little bit late. This is a belated episode.
Yes.
And
we thought we'd get you a separate one rather than double stacking Bahrain and Russia, because that could lead to incidents. International diplomatic incidents.
Yeah, we might end up with a 5-second penalty at some point if we double stack.
It's true.
Yeah.
We don't want that. Yeah, nicely done, sir. I set them up, you knock them down.
Well done. Oh, dear. Okay, so I'll be honest. I saw free practice 1 for this race. I saw free practice 2. No, I didn't see free practice 2. That one, free practice 1 was the only one I saw. I saw qualifying and saw the race.
Yeah.
But it's all a little bit belated because it was the Easter holidays and it was all jumbled up, so it was quite difficult. But did get there. I did get around to watching it all. So
well done, sir. Yeah, I didn't see any pre-practice. I don't even think I watched qualifying. I was in DC at the time, so yeah.
Fair play. I'll let you off for that one.
Okay, much appreciated.
Good. Before we go anywhere, I would like to say from both of us out there. There was a young gentleman who had a crash at, is it Donington?
Thruxton.
Oh, was it Thruxton?
I think it was Thruxton. We're talking about Formula 3, yeah?
Yeah, Billy Monger.
Yeah, I think that was Thruxton. Let me check.
I can't remember now. There was a BTCC.
It was Donington, you're correct. I do apologise. It was Donington.
Good. Yeah, he had an unfortunate incident. I've seen the incident. I'm sure a lot of you people listening to this have seen the incident. And, I'm not going to go into details about what is happening with him. But all I can say is get well soon, sir. I hope you're back up and racing as much as you want to be.
Proved, this is no excuse not to go out and win races.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure that's in his mind as well. So
good
luck, sir. We are all rooting for you. #BillyWiz. Fingers crossed for you for the future. I don't really know how to do these sort of things. It's really, really difficult. But yeah.
I think you did well,
Yeah.
I think the key is don't draw attention to it, like we just did.
Nuts! I'll have to learn that for the future. Oh,
well, let's hope we don't have to do too many of these.
Well, God, yes, yeah. Oh, God. Just someone pull my parachute ripcord, crying out loud. Okay. So you missed most of the weekend. I missed half of the weekend at least.
Yes.
So it's going to be a very intermittent report. We've both seen the race, though. I've seen the race 3 times already.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't mean I'm going to remember every single thing about the race, though, because we are recording this on the Thursday before the Russian Grand Prix.
It's been a week and a bit since the race.
Yeah. Life.
Sorry.
It's just life. They're going to have to get used to this sort of thing. It's going to happen every now and again, especially during the summer holidays as well.
Yes, it's true.
Okay.
Oh, actually, it won't matter in summer holidays. The grid's off for 3 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, fingers crossed I can persuade the missus to book the holiday in between that. That's like asking for a wedding not on FA Cup final day, isn't it? Crying out loud.
A little bit.
Okay. Any news in between this race and the last race in China?
There was a little something I seem to recall.
Oh, okay.
Let's hang about. I remember it. It was. Oh wait, it'll come to me. There was something about. I think one of the drivers was going to take a holiday in America.
Well, that was already reported on, wasn't it?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this came out this weekend.
No.
It came out the week before Bahrain because...
Did it?
Yes. Do you know why I know that? Because it was diverting attention from how shit they were going to be at Bahrain.
Really? I thought we covered that in the race before.
I am 99% No, because the race before we were talking about McLaren and Honda talking about going and seeing other people. It wasn't them, it was them.
Oh, okay.
And their therapist advised that they start seeing other people.
Bloody hell, all these weekends are just merging into one huge blur.
You know what we need? We need Christopher Plummer on the Star Crash ship to reverse the flow of time.
Oh, Jesus, don't remind me of that.
It's on Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Netflix.
Oh, is it? Oh, excellent.
Yeah, you should check that out. Anyway, yes. No, the news was Fernando Alonso is going to miss the Monaco Grand Prix because he wants to win the the Grand Slam, the Big Three, the Big Kahuna,
the Triple Crown.
The Triple Crown. There you go. Which is to win the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indianapolis 500, and the Le Mans 24 Hour. So he is going to take place this year in a McLaren branded, I think it's an Andretti car.
Yes,
Honda Andretti car. Missing the Monaco Grand Prix to take part in Indianapolis. This is part of a contract sweetener, apparently, to try and convince him to stay with McLaren next year.
Convince him to stay by sending him away.
Well, in his own words, he has more chance of winning at Indianapolis than he does at Monaco.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Because and this is one of the strange things. All the other drivers are going, "Oh, he's crazy. I'd never miss Monaco." Blah 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 blah. Blah. I never do that. It's like you legitimately have an option of being in a race-winning car for Monaco, or you might pick up a fifth if you're really lucky.
Yeah,
I know which one I'm going to be doing. And again, huge news around the world. Everyone was talking about it. Again, everyone pretty much forgot how shit McLaren were, at least until the race. But yeah, that was the big news. It was definitely something which would never have happened under Ron Dennis's watch.
Oh God, no, that would.
And
never.
I think one of the best things about it is it's going to be a McLaren branded car.
Yeah, that is very good. That's good diplomacy from McLaren, from Andretti
and
as
Honda.
well, and Honda, all joining hands, spreading the love, because IndyCar is not going to. They're going to come out well on this. The coverage is going to be upped for a European audience.
Yeah.
And from a Formula One perspective,
it's entirely possible a certain podcast might have to do a special episode about this race.
I've already booked it in to actually watch the race. Not that I would anyway, but I'm going to be paying special attention to that.
Oh, yes.
Definitely. Formula One would do well out of this because you're sending Alonso, 2 times world champion, over to America, and a reigning F1 driver as well.
Oh, yeah. It's a bit like last year we had Hulkenberg. Was it last year or the year before?
Year before.
You had Hulkenberg win Le Mans. Now, granted, that's as part of the team of 3, but still a current F1 racer. Because again, F1 likes to portray itself as the elite of the elite, best of the best. World's greatest drivers are in Formula One. It's the epitome. It's basically, if you're in the, I was going to say the Sauber, if you're in the McLaren in Formula One, at the back of the grid, you still are supposed to be perceived as the best of all the others. You should be able to take on any of the others and beat them.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity for Formula One to just show what they're made of, which is why I was a bit disheartened by all the other drivers saying, we'd never miss Monaco for a chance to go and prove ourselves against someone else.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
I grant you, missing a Formula One race is not the ideal. It would be better if they were on separate weekends. So, because I think that would be great if it was an option where, look, you're not racing in between and you can go and be a wild. I miss wild cards.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't really a thing in Formula One, at least you got them occasionally, but in MotoGP and everything, you get the occasional wild card. Yeah. Whenever they did World Superbikes at the British circuit, you'd have half a bloody British Superbike field would show up as wild cards. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. It was like special guest appearance by,
Yeah, yeah.
And it would be great. Hell, I'd love to see some wild cards come into Formula One. The American Grand Prix. Let's get the Indy champion. Wild card. Hey.
I'd be up for that. I would be so up for that as well.
Few extra numbers on the grid, it'd be awesome. Reigning Formula Nippon champion racing in Suzuka? Fuck yes.
The problem with that is Formula One is so technically advanced to everything else.
Is it?
Well, IndyCar is totally different. I'm not going to say advanced or disadvantaged, whatever. It's so different to Formula One.
It's different. But again, I think the mark of a great driver is the ability to adapt.
I grant you that, definitely.
And I'm not saying they should be racing their Indy cars against Formula One cars. What I'm saying is there should be a provision somewhere, again, in the same way that Andretti and McLaren have come to this understanding here. Andretti are going to field, it's either a third or a fourth car. I don't know how many cars they usually field in the McLaren livery.
No, it's a fifth car.
Fine, a fifth car in the McLaren livery. Give them enough notice. Say we're going to have a IndyCar driver's going to wild card at the Circuit of the Americas, and hell, let's just reverse it. It's another Honda team. So McLaren will provide the car, which is painted up in the Andretti livery or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that you'd want to be in a McLaren at the minute, but my point is, you have an option there. And I think that'd be awesome. Mix it up a bit, because again, these drivers, they're used to who's on my grid. Let's mix it up a bit, because it's always great when you have a really hot rookie come in. People aren't quite sure how to react to him.
The only thing going against that at the moment, right, is IndyCar doesn't really have a championship for constructors. They have a championship for engines, and you got the Chevy and you got the Honda.
Mm-hmm.
And that is all that is there. If you go in there and you have the Dan Weldon shaped cars. Is it Lola that make them?
I believe Lola do the chassis, yeah.
And they have the DW11s or 12s or whatever it is that they have. They have that on a shelf ready to go. So you can order another chassis, and that's how Andretti are able to get a fifth car out there. It's all ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's a little bit different for Ferrari, say, because they have the championship to deal with. And then you have championship points. And if you have let's say a third Ferrari driver is on the grid, and we have Bobby Rahal Jr. go on there. Not that he ever would, but if he goes out there and races and ends up fourth, he's taking points off of Mercedes and adding to Ferrari. Now, if his car doesn't score points, do all the other cars move up? It's very complicated. And
but they do it in I think it's MotoGP, where only the top it's the top two of a constructor will score points or something like that.
Right.
My point is, there's ways around these niggles, and I think for the show, it would be awesome. For the fan experience, it's a great way to expose other drivers. There's nothing for the Formula One grid to fear, because they're either going to show that they're superbly better than everyone else, or have a chance to test themselves against the other bests around the world. Other drivers get a chance to go to these tracks, test their mettle against Formula One drivers, some of which they would have raced before in the lower formulas and everything, which I think would be great. And I think now we have, what if I can call it Liberty Media.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something that they should, perhaps with a 2020 rule change, if they manage to do something where, the cars aren't as stupidly expensive as they are now, it's something I think they should look to do. But I certainly am encouraged by Fernando doing Indianapolis, and I really hope he does well and we get to see this happen again. Because who's in charge of McLaren now? Is it Dan Brown?
Yep.
Yeah, he says he wants to see a McLaren branded car in Indianapolis every year from now on.
Well, I'll be happy for that.
Fuck yeah.
I think Indianapolis is an easier race to do that at, because you have more drivers on the grid, and you have 33 drivers on the grid. And you do have your wild cards, and you have your lone team entries as well. So it's...
How's this for a thought, yeah? Just throwing it in, shot in the dark here.
Go on.
What if Ferrari were to make an LMP1 car and you had Vettel, Raikkonen, and Giovinazzi racing that in Le Mans. Yeah.
I'm just thinking how goddamn awesome that car would look.
Fuck yeah. Are you listening there, Ferrari? This is a thing we want to see. Mercedes, while you're at it as well. Hamilton, Bottas, and Verline or something like that.
Yeah, that'd do. Oh, man. Yes.
Yeah, we want to see this. Make this happen.
And then Aston Martin, and you'll have the Red Bull guys.
Yes.
Oh.
You see, I've just made both Formula One and Le Mans instantly better.
I'm actually feeling a little sexy now.
No, do you need a moment?
No. It'll pass.
Are you going to have a little sex wee?
It'll pass. I'll just bite my hand. There we go. Right, I'm back in the room now.
Back in the room. All right.
Wow.
But anyway, that was basically the main news from between China and Bahrain.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some news since Bahrain, which we can talk about now if you like.
Yeah, go for it. I think I know where you're going with this anyway. So
well, the news was the Halo has been scrapped. So we're
Oh.
not getting a Halo next year.
Okay,
well,
good.
Obviously, I'm not going where you thought we were going.
No.
They're going with a shield instead. It looks like a lower, sleeker version of the shield as opposed to the one that Red Bull were trialing last year.
Okay.
So yeah, that's interesting. There's been rule changes announced for 2018. One of which we'll get from the Spanish Grand Prix this year, which is now that the cars have to prominently show the name and number of the driver.
Okay. Are we going down the route of light numbers on the cars?
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if that was something which we got maybe for 2020.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it now, but I think this is basically Ross Brawn, because he says in the past when we had the fins, he said the only reason he could see the fins being of any use was to stick identifying marks on there.
Mm-hmm.
And all the teams were like, no, we want to put sponsorship on there. Well, there's no fucking sponsorship on there, so we're going to fucking stick your numbers on there. So apparently they're going to stick big numbers and names on the side of the cars to make it easy to identify, which I understand, makes sense. But to be perfectly honest, never really had a problem with the fluorescent. Back when you used to have the pink and yellow on the top of the top cameras.
Yep.
You always knew that the yellow was Hamilton, the pink was Button.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, do they still have that now? I'm trying to rack my brain as to whether
I don't think they do.
Or not.
If they do, I know one of them will still have yellow, but it's not as prominent as it used to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's that. What am I missing?
I'm trying to rack my brain. Did we say that Button would be taken over from Alonso?
We did not. No. Yes, Jensen's coming back. Woo, Jensen!
Just for Monaco, though.
Just for Monaco, but let's face it, if you're going to come back for just one race with McLaren this season, Monaco's probably the best one to do it.
Hell, why not?
Plus, it's just around the corner from his gaff, so it's just like come downstairs in the car, off you go.
Yeah, it is,
and it's probably their best chance to score some decent points and get a decent result, especially if it's a wet race. So,
and Jensen is going to be well up for doing that as well, I feel.
Oh fuck yeah, Jensen, always a delight to see him racing. Good to see him back on the grid this year. And let's face it, if things don't improve, we might be seeing more of him next year. Although right now, I'm not entirely sure who's going to walk away first. Is it going to be Alonso or Stefan Van Droon?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. There's more rumours about Sauber signing up for Honda as well.
Yeah. Those rumours have gotten a lot noisier, which I think would be good.
There's also
I don't know who it's going to be good for, but, it'll be good for someone.
Yeah, there's rumours that McLaren might have Mercedes by halfway through this season, which I don't see. That's not going to happen. No,
I can't see that happening. Although that does remind me of another rumour. Well, it's not a rumour. This is something I think has been talked about and might even be confirmed. Mercedes are going to consult with Honda to help them fix their engine.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. That'd be good.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'll wait until it happens, but okay.
Oh, I don't know if what the deal is, but there was a special meeting of a strategy group apparently.
Right.
And apparently Mercedes, I don't know if they've been asked or have offered or what the deal is, but one of the things is they needed to do something to fix the Honda. And so apparently Mercedes are going to consult with them with relation to the electrical hybrid system, which I think is where they're having most of their trouble with at the minute. Right. Which I've got to say, I think is, while I applaud any attempt to get Honda back up to spec, I think it's counterproductive, because if they do that and the Honda starts going better, it's going to be all thanks to Mercedes. And if they do nothing, then it's just proving Honda's even more inept than we initially thought.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, yeah.
I can just see Honda pulling the plug at the end of this year. If they don't get any... They reckon that they're going to have an upgraded engine by Spain.
It better be the kind of step they made between the Honda of 2009, of 2008, and the Brawn of 2009 for it to be worthwhile.
Yeah, but then again, Honda pulled out of that as well, didn't they?
It pulled out, and it was a Mercedes engine. But my point is, the team needs to make that kind of a step.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
Just having a look here to see other bits of news that we skipped. Shark fins and T-wings are banned from next year.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised about the shark fins, but if they want to display their numbers on there, I don't know.
Well, the numbers are just going to be displayed prominently on the cars. They've not said it's going to have to be on the shark fins.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to have to. The new regulations are banning shark fins and T-wings. Although the FIA have said if there's any more failures of T-wings, they will move to ban them this year.
Right, that's fair enough. I don't like them. I like the ones on the Ferrari. I don't like the ones on the Mercedes or the McLaren. Just coat hangers wangling around in the air. No, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Jolly good.
There you go.
Okay.
So everybody got that?
Good. Right, I'm going to get into free practice of what I saw.
Okay.
Free practice 1. All I can remember from that in my notes was Kimi blew an engine, ended up walking all the way back to the pits.
Yeah, with the incredible hot music playing, as I recall.
Something like that. Yeah, he didn't look impressed at all. Massa had a big spin, possibly brake failure. And Wehrlein was getting in the way in front of Ocon. And there was...
We forgot to mention Wehrlein was back this weekend.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But
he also showed some pictures of him in a massive neck brace.
Yeah, I saw them. He was laying down, wasn't he?
Yeah, but so apparently the whole back thing was a lot worse than anyone had been led to believe.
Or was it a case of, well, okay, I've missed 2 races. I need to show proof while I've been off.
He needs to get a note from his doctor.
Yeah, I'll just wear this. Take a photo of it, put it on social media. Thank you very much. And here I am back and racing. Look, what a brave soldier I am. Because that's the excuse I would be making. Yeah, he was back and getting in the way of Ocon, where we had the wonderful radio communication between Ocon and his pit wall of Ocon turning around and saying, Wehrlein's in the way all the time. Don't worry, Wehrlein doesn't know what Wehrlein's doing. Just carry on.
It's a bit harsh for his old teammate, but there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Free practice 2, I totally missed. Free practice 3, I totally missed due to family commitments.
We did hear that the T-wing on Bottas's Mercedes failed and shredded Verstappen's floor.
That's right, yes.
Which got Christian Horner very upset.
Well, it would do, yeah.
Yes.
And floors is expensive.
There is, isn't it like?
Yeah.
And then Mercedes said Mercedes had to prove they were strong enough, to which I believe Toto Wolff said you can hit it with a baseball bat and it won't come off. I don't know if anyone actually did hit it with a baseball bat, but I'm sure Christian Horner would have been happy to test it. Whoops, I slipped a bit.
You can hit it with a baseball bat, and there's Horner in the background, just lamping his car.
Yeah.
It's like, what was that guy? There was a guy in the Iraq War. I think it was first Iraq War, when he was turning around and saying, no, the Americans are not invading our country.
Oh, that was the second one.
Yeah, was that the second one? And there was tanks in the background.
Yeah.
No Americans here.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, man.
I think he now works in the Trump White House as Sean Splicer, isn't it? Hey, we got political. Moving on.
There we go. Okay, qualifying. I'm going to get into qualifying now. Ocon had problems with DRS in Q1.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite an uneventful qualifying session, I felt, up until maybe the last minute.
Well, I was going to say, let's just go through Q1. Magnussen, Ericsson, Perez, Van Droon, Carlos Sainz, they were our dropouts there. Yep. Nothing really stands out, to be honest. I mean, maybe Carlos Sainz. Toro Rosso's generally been pretty good. So
Alonso squeezing through.
Alonso got through and then immediately broke down.
Yep, you're out
already.
Yep, already.
It's my microphone. It's actually built by Honda. Speaking of Honda, so he got into Q2 and then his engine packed up so badly it had to be replaced in time for the race. So,
that's right.
Yeah, yep. They've actually, I think, now gone through their engine allocation, or maybe they got one left, but still, they've fucked their engines.
I
completely.
think they're very close to going through it, aren't they?
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, then you got Ocon, Wehrlein. Not bad, considering it's his first race of the season in the Sauber.
Mm-hmm.
So, nicely done there. Lance Stroll was in 12th. Danny Kvyat. Okay, and now we're into the top 10. And now here's the fucking shocker.
Go on. I'll let you say this one.
The fuck's Jolyon Palmer doing up there?
I think happened? I think he must have got lost or something.
I think he listened to our cast last week and thought, I'm not having fucking Andy win for fucking last qualifying play. You got to him, McManus. You got to him.
Yeah, he was in 10th. Well done to him, and much respect for that. But do you know what? It's still 3 places behind his teammate.
Yeah, but it's still, let's say 20 places higher than he's qualified so far.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's still behind his teammate who's come in.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I don't know what fucking lit a fire up his ass, but when I heard that, I was like, the fuck?
Yeah, it's, well done. I'm well impressed with that. I just didn't expect it at all.
No.
So something about that...
I don't think he did.
I think something about that Renault must have suited that circuit.
Yeah.
That's all I can say for that. They have got the grunt.
Oh, yeah, they do. And again, the cooler conditions might suit the tyres a bit more. So.
Yeah. So Jolyon Palmer in 10th. Who else have we got?
Romain Grosjean was 9th.
Yeah.
Doing a solid job in the Haas when you bear in mind that Kevin Magnussen was all the way down in 20th.
That's right. What happened to Magnussen?
I again didn't see it, so don't know.
I think he had problems. I'm pretty sure he had problems.
I thought so, to be that far off a pace. But there you go. So yeah, Grosjean was 9th, Massa was 8th, then the Hulk, as we mentioned. Then Max Verstappen was 6th, Kimi was 5th, Danny Ricciardo was 4th, Seb Vettel was 3rd, and then the big news was Lewis Hamilton was not on pole because Vitaly Bottas beat him in. Valtteri Bottas, sorry.
Yeah, I was surprised. Very surprised.
I think everyone was surprised.
I felt that was a a combination of a very good lap from Bottas and a little bit of bad luck from Hamilton as well.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Lewis got a little bit scruffy on his final flyer.
Yeah.
And again, it was literally, I think, 3/10 in it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it at all.
There was not. I mean, Bottas's time was 1:28.769. Lewis's was 1:28.792.
Yeah.
So yeah, nearest makes no difference, just 3/10 in it. But
no, hundredths.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was close. It was close, but still, Bottas got it hooked up, got it on pole, first pole position. So well done, madman.
Mm-hmm. It felt tighter as well, this grid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the times gave us that, but there was something about it that it was a bit tighter than what we were expecting.
Yes, it was tight, like a tight.
Very tight.
It's tight. Yes, I could tell. It's a very sexual grid.
So yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's qualifying out of the way.
There you go.
Should we jump into the race?
Yes, why not?
Okay, I'm going to give you my opinions on the race as an overall thing, just before we dive into it.
Okay.
I thought this was a brilliant race.
I agree.
I thought this was fantastic, and I'd be very happy if this was every week.
Oh yeah, this was a good race.
I think it was helped by having Bottas on pole position.
I mean, to be fair, I think what helps is the fact Ferrari or any other team are able to get in amongst the Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what's helped it. Because I think even last year, by and large, you took Mercedes out of the equation, the racing was pretty close. I remember people saying, if you look at the race between 3rd and 12th, it was close with a lot of overtaking going on.
Yeah. And
it's just the two Mercedes would fuck off into the distance and you never see them again.
Yeah, we would have had Daniel Ricciardo as a very close contender for the championship.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's great that Ferrari, or at least Vettel, have managed to hook something together and to get up amongst them, which was awesome. Although I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in you, Elton. Because I thought you were going to say, should we get into the race? I mean, I could have said, unlike with McLaren, whee!
Okay. Should we start with Von Dorn?
Well, we may as well start since he didn't.
Yeah.
Zinger!
Yeah, he didn't.
I need Lee's CSI button, don't I?
Oh God, no! We're not bringing that in here. No, that's not happening. So did he get any laps under his belt at all? Because he had an ECU problem, didn't he?
I think they did. I think he went out on a sighting lap, and then just went straight back into the.
Yeah, that's right.
Into a thing, and it was just like, nope, he's fucked.
He had problems with this in the free practices before as well.
Yeah.
So this was a reoccurrence of a problem that they'd been having.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, it's a McLaren piece as well. McLaren create these parts for the whole grid.
Yeah, it's a standard part, so it's a bit of a unusual failure because these have been pretty solid by and large. But still, it's a McLaren Honda broke down, and as much as I love them, I am going to rip the shit out of them every time they break down because, God damn it, man, you should know better.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sorry, you are one of the all-time great Formula One teams. You have no business running around at the back of the grid. Dear. Accept my mockery.
No, go for it. Absolutely go for it. So he didn't even start.
I was going to say I'm not the only one going for it. I've heard Alonso's radio messages.
Was he? I don't think he was that bad this weekend.
Who, Alonso?
Yeah.
I don't think he was that bad because I think he's on a high because he's got to do Indianapolis and he's got a chance of winning something.
Yeah, he's got an eye on one thing, hasn't he?
Exactly, but it's okay. I know we're probably getting quite a bit ahead of ourselves, but so Alonso retired the car. He retired the car. What lap was that?
3. He had 3 laps. He was 3 laps behind, so he could have been a lap down at the time. I think it was the second to last lap or the last lap that he retired it on.
It was 2 laps to go. So anyway, Alonso's apparently told the Spanish media that he will push the car as far as it will go. He will try and get the utmost out of it. But if he gets towards the end of a race and he's not in the top 10 or fighting for a point, he's just going to retire the car.
Right.
And he said, engine problem. I'm boxing.
And brought it in.
And Mercedes, and McLaren are all like, oh yeah, it was an engine problem and stuff like this. But they wouldn't tell Ted what the problem was.
Mm.
And so the prevailing opinion seems to be that Alonso is just like, if I'm not going to get points, I'm not going to finish the race.
I don't like that attitude. I really don't. It's something that really bugs me. There was a race in the late 90s, possibly early 2000s, with Mika Hakkinen.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to retire the car as well, because he was outside the points. And then he got a sniff of the points. And all of a sudden, I think he was in 7th at the time, when the points just went down to 6th. And then all of a sudden, he's putting a charge on. And then he got a point. And you think, well, hang on, if you'd done that all the way through the race, maybe you've got 2 points.
Now, in Alonso's defence here, he left it until the second to last lap. And I think he was running in... Hang about.
I think he was 11th. No, 12th.
He was
scrapping with Verline and Kvyat.
Yes, because he locked up with he had a lockup, so I think he was 12th at the time. He was a long way down from Ocon, who was running in 10th at the time. And unlike Mika Hakkinen at that point, every race this season, Alonso has wrung the neck out of that car. I totally take that, and I feel if he had a sniff of the points, he'd still be doing it. I think if it was a sniff of a points, he'd definitely... I don't think he's going to be... I'm in 11th, I'm going to stop now. I'm throwing my toys out.
Yeah.
What he's saying is he will push the car as far as the car will go, and then some. But if the car still won't deliver him a point, and it's a lap from the end,
yeah,
I'm not gonna cross. I think it's his own little petty rebellion, I suppose. I'm not going to see the checkered flag if the car can't fight for a point. If the car can fight for the point, that's fine. I'm fighting for the point. But if the car won't do that, fuck it.
Yeah, it could be towards a Honda, really, couldn't it? So, well, okay, fine.
Well, actually, it might have been just because of Bahrain, because Bahrain's where the McLaren's big shareholders are.
And to make a big shout and hoo-ha about it, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that was it. But yeah, so Alonso was just like, nope, not gonna finish.
Okay. There's a bit more to it than just... He's not the guy that would just throw his toys out the pram. I suppose a couple of years ago...
10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, he was that geezer. Now, not so much. He's really grown in the last 3-4 years.
He's matured hugely, absolutely. And he's actually gone from someone I did test and probably wouldn't piss to put out on the fire to one of my favourite drivers on the grid.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of racecraft, which I've always respected, but just in terms of personality and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
He seems like he's now someone I'd be like, yeah, I'd have a beer with him.
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Maybe up the side of the circuit of Brazil, you know? He can be a bartender next time.
Oh, yes, please. Yes. Just pulling pints.
Set up a little bar along the side of the pit straight or something like at Brazil, and he can just break down, get out, go and pull some pints.
Okay, what would his bar be called? Would it just be called Alonso's?
No. It would be something like the Broken MG UK.
The Spanish Rant.
Oh, yes. Or the Spanish Inquisition, just because you wouldn't expect that.
You wouldn't know.
Anyway, slightly off course. Let's get back to Bahrain. Okay. So, yes, Stoffel van Drooen did not take the start because he broke down. Yep. So, yes. The start itself, though, Yeah, it was pretty good. Both of Mercedes got away quite nicely, didn't they?
I thought Bottas got a great start. I think it could have been because of the clean and dirty sides.
Yeah, I mean, Vettel managed to get into his pit slot this time, which was good.
Well, yeah, he jumped Hamilton, didn't he?
Yeah.
He jumped Hamilton at the start. That was possibly due to the clean side. Hamilton got a bit more wheel spin than Vettel.
Yeah.
Kimi Räikkönen, he ended up fighting with the Red Bulls.
Yeah, Verstappen got past him, and was it Ricciardo? Yeah.
Yep.
Because Verstappen got up to fourth, I think it was, behind Hamilton.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vettel was right on the bloody tailpipe of Bottas, and they were steaming away. I mean, within a lap or so, you had the two Mercedes and Vettel were gapping Ricciardo.
They were, but it also steadied itself out. And this is what I liked about it, because you did have a few shots where you had the top five in the same shot.
Oh, yeah. No, that was all great. Raikkonen was heading backwards as well, because I think even Massa got past him.
Massa did, but then he got him back later on.
Mm.
He did. So I felt Kimi was in fighting spirit when it was needed. Apart from when he got past the person, okay, I'll just carry on now. I can carry on doing my job. But when the fight was there, he came alive.
Yeah.
And then dipped down again. But yeah, I was enjoying this. I liked the way that Vettel was hounding Bottas. Bottas's tyres were overheating. He had a couple of messages about that as well.
Yeah.
So he was closing everything up. He was keeping it in a nice truly train, which from the front perspective, I liked.
It looked awesome when they were doing that, yeah.
Yeah. Then, around about 10 laps in, that's when it all starts kicking off.
Oh, yeah.
So we have Vettel jump the gun, jump into the pits.
Yeah.
I think we should go through this, not lap by lap, but situation by situation. Yeah.
Yes.
Vettel,
well, I'll let, since you watched it 3 times, I'll let you take the lead, and I'll just jump in as I remember shit.
Okay, well, I'm going to go up until the safety car on this.
Spoiler alert, there was a safety car.
Damn. Yeah. No, they already know that anyway.
Yeah.
So Vettel jumps the gun, lap 10, he ducks into the pits, gets new boots on, out. He drops into a nice gap in front of Palmer, who's doing quite well at this point as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember who came out behind. I think it was Perez that he came out behind. And so, okay, they fed him into a nice place. Verstappen got onto the phone and said, I think we should be doing something along the similar lines of Ferrari at the moment, because he's seeing Ferrari trying to do the undercut. He's also thinking, okay, Mercedes aren't legging it off into the distance. Why not? Let's try something else and mix it up a little bit. So he drops in, gets new boots. Yep. He goes out. Then, out of nowhere, his brakes fail.
Yeah. And he goes straight into the barriers.
Yeah. And this was...
Can I just take a quick sidebar here about Verstappen?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going off him a little bit. He's still great to watch on the track. He's really exciting. Mm. But evidently he's found one of Vettel's old copies of War and Peace. Nothing's going to put me off a driver quicker than hearing him whine on the radio.
What was he doing a lot
about? There was something about I'm faster than... Where was it? I saw it written here somewhere. But yeah, he was whining about, he's faster than someone, but he couldn't get past them or something like this. And there's just been a few instances recently, where he's just been moaning about other drivers on the radio and off the thing as well. And it's just, moaning really puts me off a driver.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing it a little bit, and it's just like, look, you're really exciting when you're racing, but shut the fuck up,
Well, I think the moaning put us off Vettel last year, didn't it?
It really did. Because, if you're going to moan, do it in the same way as Alonso does it. Be entertaining with it, creative. Yeah. Not just like, well, I can't get past him, I don't like it. It's just a fuck up. It's what they sound like when they do that. Okay?
Yeah, if
I
they
mean,
could...
it's one of my big bugbears with Hamilton when he's on a down day. You know, when Hamilton's winning, he's great. You know, and he's just like, yeah, I'm doing all this so good. But when he's having a bad day, you know, oh, my tyres aren't working properly. Oh, I've got so much understeer. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. You know, it's just like,
I get the feeling that he's like that when he's out front.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, my tyres are going. My tyres are going. Hang on a minute. You've done 4 laps on these things.
Yeah.
And he's out in front. You can nurse them. You can work out. Come on.
Yeah.
You're telling me there aren't days where he wakes up, gets out of bed and goes, yeah, I'm Lewis Hamilton. Crying out loud, I would be.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Verstappen's whining on the radio, especially this weekend, was just really kind of getting on my tits.
Okay, so him hitting the barriers was kind of retribution for that for yourself?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far because, again, it was, it was a mechanical failure. It wasn't anything he did.
Yeah.
But if it had been something he'd done after all that bitching, then I might have laughed hysterically.
Yeah, and this was down the main straight as well, wasn't it? Brakes.
It was just after it just come out of pits, was it?
It was the lap after. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether something happened during that pit stop. I don't think so. I think it was just sheer bad luck that they'd failed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he's out the race. So we get a yellow flag situation on that first corner.
Uh-huh.
We also have Hamilton attacking Bottas, and his only real opportunity of overtaking him is into the first corner, where he's got the DRS going into that. But with the yellow flag, he's not able to take care of that situation. So he's hampered by that as well.
Mm-hmm.
We then have other drivers jumping into the pits. We have Sainz jumps into the pits.
Oh, yeah.
He comes out the pits. I'm really curious as to what your thought is about this situation, because we then get an enhanced yellow. The yellow flags go to safety car because we see a stricken Williams and then a stricken what was
Toro
it?
Rosso.
Toro Rosso, yes.
Yes.
And this is Lance Stroll and
Carlos
Sainz.
Sainz. Yes.
And they've come together. When I saw this, there was lots of debris on the floor. And so I thought, okay, he's hit something or someone's hit him. I didn't know what had happened, but there was just too much debris or damage around there. And he was parked in a peculiar situation that suggested something had happened.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put the two cars together until you work out exactly where they are and what's going on. Stroll has come pelting down the main straight. Sainz has come out of the pits. Stroll hasn't seen Sainz. Sainz can see Stroll. And I feel Sainz took a massive gamble and took a dive up the inside of Stroll and took them both out the race. Mm-hmm. That's the way I see it. Stroll was on the radio saying he got hit by someone. I didn't see it. And he's out the race. Carlos Sainz is on the radio saying, well, he turned into me. No. He was well over a car length ahead of you, and you pelted into the side of him. You proper T-boned him. Ripped off the side of his side pod as well.
I'm almost wondering if Sainz might have thought it was Massa.
Right?
No, I only say that because, again, Massa's been at this a while. Wise old head. Probably would have clocked Carlos Sainz there a lot further back and been aware that he was there. And just has the experience to know that that's the kind of thing that's going to happen.
Right.
I'm not saying Lance Stroll is in the wrong, but I'm saying perhaps Carlos Sainz just thought that the guy there would realise he was there. And yeah, it was a cheeky move, but if you don't take a cheeky opportunity when it comes along, then you're going to end up as, I don't know, Palmer.
Yeah, okay, right. I feel...
Put it this way, yeah? If he'd have done that move and Stroll had been aware enough to give him, didn't turn in, suddenly saw there's a car there, kept it out, and they went around there, we'd probably say that was a gutsy move from Carlos Sainz.
Yes.
You're a hero until you fuck up.
Yeah, I feel at that situation, you're going down the straight, that's the time where you're going to be changing biases and possibly changing biases going into a corner as well.
Yeah.
Especially with wind direction change after that corner, because you're going to head out towards the back end of the circuit for that. And maybe he was changing something on the steering wheel. He clearly didn't see Sainz coming out the pits.
No.
I don't think he knew that he was there at all, and I don't think he thought that there was any cars around him to give way to. That's why
we don't know if the team alerted him that was going to be the case as well, because maybe the team you say just heads up, someone's exiting the pits ahead of you.
Yeah, should have spotted it.
Yeah.
Sainz, on the other hand, though, I think you're right in saying that if you don't go for them moves, or if he had gone from that and there was a gap there, we would be congratulating Sainz on a cheeky manoeuvre. Dirty little scoundrel, ruffling his hair and away with him.
Yeah, exactly. But it messed up. And I just think I think myself, if I was the steward, I'd have called it a racing incident. Because I think we want the drivers to go for those cheeky opportunities. We do. But equally so, you need to be able to get out of them when you realise it's not the case, sort of thing. Just a little bit more situational awareness from both of them. Sainz should have realised it was Stroll, who's not the most experienced driver on the bloody grid.
Yeah.
And probably should have known this isn't going to work out well. He's going to turn in on me. And Stroll should have been aware that a car had just come out of the pits.
Yeah.
Was thundering along on fresh tyres. And again, we know for Carlos Sainz, he's going to take an opportunity when he sees one.
Mm-hmm.
So
I personally think Carlos Sainz may have got caught out coming out of the pits. I think he's come out of the pits, he's seen a car that he can nab.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly eyes on that car, wondering where he's going to be going. He's missed his braking point because he hit him hard. He used him to brake.
Oh, yeah. It looked like he wasn't making that corner without the Williams there.
No, he would have gone... I'm not going to say he would have gone off the track. I think he may have put at least two wheels on the rumble strip on the far side of that track, on that turn.
Yeah.
Without...
I think it was a case that he was probably going to try... I think he wanted to be about half a car further along, or at least be spotted. So when the other car spots him there, you push him out wide, and it means he can't come right back at you into the next corner.
Yeah.
But he just... Because Stroll hadn't clocked him there, and he just turned in anyway, it was just like, nope, so much for that.
Yeah.
I think what he was hoping was he was going to force him out wide. Sainz takes the corner. Stroll's gone too wide now, too deep, has to slow down, can't come right back at him, and Sainz is away.
Okay. And I think Sainz got a penalty for this, didn't he, for the next race?
He's got a 3-place grid penalty for the Russian Grand Prix.
For causing an incident.
Yes.
Okay.
And now, to be fair, by and large, the stewards haven't been as heavy-handed with driving incidents as they have been previous seasons, certainly last season. In fact, I think this is the first time they've actually ruled on a driver incident like this.
There hasn't been many,
season.
if any.
Yeah.
I think last year it got a little bit too much, didn't it?
It got bloody stupid,
Yeah.
You sneezing the wrong way at the driver and you got a penalty. What?
Yeah. But this incident was very much like the Gutierrez and Maldonado one, where Gutierrez was thrown over onto his head a couple of years ago. So there are incidents to be had at that corner, especially with people coming out the pits. But
yeah,
that's there to have a bit of fun with, I suppose. Anyway, this brought out the safety car.
Oh yeah,
and Ferrari must have been crapping their pants at this point, because this was what happened in Australia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it Australia or was it China? No, Australia.
It was Australia.
No, China, because that cost them the race, because who's the Sauber guy that crashed?
Oh, it was Gutierrez.
No, not Gutierrez.
No,
Giovinazzi.
Giovinazzi.
Yeah.
That one.
He crashed, and then that caused, because Ferrari had just pitted, and then everyone gets a free pit stop. Exactly the same thing happened. But you had Bottas, you had Vettel taking 3 seconds out of the Mercedes at that time as well.
Yeah.
Was it 3 seconds? I think it was somewhere along that lines anyway. And Bottas was really holding up Hamilton at that time. So they decided to double stack him. Now, Bottas got in there first. He had prime position because he's the leading car. He's gone into the pits. Hamilton, for some peculiar reason, has slowed down, forcing Daniel Ricciardo to slow down with him as well, going into the pits. They double stack the Mercedes. Hamilton gets out behind Daniel Ricciardo. But my question is, Hamilton ended up getting a 5-second penalty for slowing down and causing obstruction on the track.
Obstructing another driver, yeah.
And he had a 5-second penalty for that. I think he probably lost. I'm wondering, is it worth the 5-second penalty?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because he still came out behind Ricciardo because he was delayed by. He couldn't be released because another car was coming by at the time, so he still ended up coming out behind Ricciardo regardless.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wasn't worth it. And at the end of the day, he lost to Vettel by about 6 seconds when he gave up.
Yeah. So
if he hadn't done that, been a second behind him.
I don't know. I don't think that he still would have been a second behind him.
My point is, those 5 seconds, regardless of that, the point is it was an unnecessary 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
It was a self-induced error. He took blame himself, so fair play on that. He didn't try and pass it off on anyone else. And I think it was just the red mist kind of just descended.
Yeah.
You know, it just wasn't thinking clearly.
Panic stations.
Because again, double stacking's just not something they regularly do or prep for.
No.
And so, yeah, it just, you know, Ricciardo's obviously in a hurry. He wants to get in, you know. They were under a safety car at that point, weren't they? But I guess they were still able to hit the sector times they needed to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would have been better if Hamilton had just parked up behind Bottas, and there you go.
Well, I think he had to anyway, because Bottas was slow to be released.
It was fractional. It was literally but Hamilton went straight into his slot once Bottas had cleared. You know, there wasn't any kind of. Hamilton didn't have to stop outside his grid position.
Right.
He went straight in. But, you know, again, it was just self-induced error. Yeah. He has no one to blame but himself. But shit happens.
Yeah, I suppose like the red mist coming down and panic stations, and it's all, oh my God, no, I'll try and sort this out later on. So in his next pit stop, he had to have 5 seconds pause time before the people can work on the car.
Yeah, and as I think Crofty pointed out, there were brand new batteries in all of the Mercedes stopwatches. he was stationary for 5.0001 seconds apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, they got their 5 seconds. And they were just all right, done it and off.
Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. I like that. Yeah. So when the safety car picked up the leader, it happened to be Vettel.
Yes.
Which was, I suppose he feels like he's dodged a bullet on that situation.
He definitely got a bit of a rub of the green.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. So he's got Bottas behind him. When the green light comes out and all the crap has been cleared from the track, Bottas does have a go at him. He does have a couple of goes at him, but I think the Ferrari has got the legs on that car, especially Bottas's car. I still feel he's feeling his way into that car at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's feeling his way into the car and to the team. Because let's face it, it's Hamilton's team. And he's probably still a bit unsure about where he is in that. Am I allowed to be in front here?
Yeah.
He's never going to publicly admit it, but, you know, I'm sure at the back of his mind is he's waiting for one day a call to come through. Kindly step aside. I mean, I know he was asked to do it this time around, but
he had this twice this race, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
there was a definite point where Hamilton was behind Bottas and he was holding him up. Then he was asked to move over or clearly give the position, please. And then once he got past, Hamilton almost caught Vettel. He did.
Oh, yeah.
He was catching him at one point.
Hamilton had a fucking fire up his arse, that much is certain.
Yeah. But it was... Okay, team orders this early on in the season. Do you agree with them?
Only if it's in a situation where, the other driver is noticeably faster and has a chance. So in the situation where you have a Ferrari running away with it, you've got two Mercedes, and there's a chance for the win if you let the second Mercedes through.
Yeah. Then
I'm okay with it. I don't think they should interfere with them fighting each other, but again, Mercedes' first priority is going to be the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I say, look, we've given you the opportunity to beat the Ferrari. Now we as a team want to beat the Ferrari. You two can sort out amongst yourselves who beats each other. But so if you both get ahead of the Ferrari, then you're on your own.
Yeah.
But until you're past that Ferrari, the faster car is the one that has the chance to do it.
Yeah, and sometimes you clearly have a faster car. We had that situation last year in Monaco where Nico Rosberg moved over to let Hamilton through, and then Hamilton ended up winning.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was wet, dry, and Nico Rosberg, he just couldn't get the purchase on that car.
He just couldn't get it hooked up. And the other thing to bear in mind is you often find when you do that, you can get a tow from the other car. You get pulled up with the other car.
Yeah.
So it might be a case of he'll get you up to the Ferrari, he gets past him, and you can get past him. Right, now it's game on.
Yeah.
But as it was, Bottas just couldn't get to grips with the Ferrari. Hamilton could. So I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Like I said, the team comes first. It's a team sport. Team comes first. Just don't interfere with the drivers when they're racing each other and there's no other team or issue in there, you know?
Mm-hmm. No.
I don't want team orders. I don't want a situation where Bottas is faster than Hamilton, but Hamilton is the lead driver, if you will, and then they won't allow that. No, it's if you need to get past, if the second car is faster than the first and you've got a chance to pass another team, fine. Otherwise, no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get Mercedes' thought on this.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton was clearly faster and he had the car underneath him. He had it hooked up a bit better than Bottas. Bottas did great in qualifying, I feel. I think he did a really good job over the weekend. I'm
absolutely
sure he's going to be disappointed in the result, but it's a step beyond what he had prior to this weekend as well. So I think he did really well.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had, for the rest of the race, it was the cat and mouse game of Ferrari, Hamilton, who's going to finish where, and are people going to be able to close up. We also had a little knock between, Kvyat. I want to talk about Kvyat quickly.
Yeah, sure.
The first lap, he was pushed off the track twice, I think.
Yeah.
And then he was involved in a situation with Palmer, Alonso, and Kvyat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having a nice little squabble as well. Palmer didn't get the upper hand. Kvyat got the upper hand on that. And I feel he's got a firecracker up his ass as well. I think he's really getting into his stride now. And he's going to
He's managed to put
producing.
fucking 2016 behind him, it seems.
Yeah. I feel he's going to start producing and scoring some good points soon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was enjoying that. You also had the Alonso thing and where he pulled in and such. And
we had some more interesting radio chat from Alonso. I think at one point he said this was it the slowest car I've ever raced or least powerful engine I've ever had?
Yeah, there's just no power.
Yeah. Again, when Alonso bitches, it's entertaining at least. So.
Yeah, I wonder if you're going to get that sort of talk in the Indy 500.
I think he'll probably be a bit more humble because he's not a double world champion in Indianapolis, is he?
No, he's not. No.
Yeah,
no.
I think he's smart enough to know he's going in there as a rookie.
I'm so looking forward to that.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And yeah, then the rest of the race, it was just a not procession, but it was a nice cat and mouse race.
It was a nice cat and mouse. Hamilton was kind of closing in. We thought, okay, we might. There was questions of whether or not Hamilton can go to the end on his on the tyres he had, but he had to stop again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, in the end, Vettel just had the legs, and that was that.
Yeah, so Vettel ended up winning.
Mm-hmm.
We have Lewis Hamilton in second, Valtteri Bottas coming third,
mm-hmm.
Kimi Räikkönen ended up fourth. Well done. Who else? We had Daniel Ricciardo in fifth, Massa in sixth, Sergio Perez in seventh, Romain Grosjean eighth, Nico Hülkenberg in ninth, and Ocon scoring points for Force India in 10th.
Yeah.
Now,
and I just there's only a few more finishes, but I think it's worth mentioning. Pascal Wehrlein, finished 11th on his first race back, which was again not bad at all. Danny Kvyat was 12th, Palmer 13th, unlucky for some, and although he didn't finish, he was qualified. Alonso was 14th.
Yep. Okay, what happened to Ericsson because he was retired?
Gearbox failure.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, it was near the end. His gearbox went. And yeah, I heard some interesting fact about Wehrlein, but I can't remember what it was.
It
was on that. It was on Ted's notebook. I will have to watch it again. Go watch Ted Notebook, people, and it was an interesting fact about Pascal Wehrlein.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so do we get on to our predictions and our results for the predictions?
Well, let's do the race results and the championship standings. And then do
that's right. Yes, yeah. Go on.
We have a format here we're trying to stick to.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Have you got the charts in front of you?
I do, yes.
Okay, can you go through them?
Okay. Would you like to pick up a pops?
Yes, please.
Okay, folks, here we are. In at 5, down 2 is Max Verstappen with 25 points. At 4, climbing 1, it's the Flying Finn, Kimi Räikkönen with 34 points. At 3, moving up 1, we have a challenger to the title of the Flying Finn, Valtteri Bottas with 38 points. At 2nd, Lewis Hamilton with 61. And taking number 1 away again is Sebastian Vettel with 68 points.
Nice.
And in the Constructors' Championships, climbing 1 to 5th is Williams with 16. Up 1 to 4th is Force India with 17. Staying steady at 3, Red Bull Racing with 47 points. Falling down to 2nd, we have Mercedes with 99. And claiming top of the pops once again is Ferrari with 102 points.
It's so close.
So close. And Mercedes aren't the top.
It's so close.
And just another thing that was of interest that was mentioned was Force India so apparently there's a massive problem with correlation. I think we mentioned this last time, but basically their simulator is broken.
Okay.
Or at least, so what happens with correlation is your simulator says this should do this. So when you put this on the car, it should do this. Mm-hmm. Theirs doesn't. Their simulator says it should do X, but when they put the part on the car, it does Y instead. So there's a disconnect between what the simulator is capable of doing and what the car is doing.
Yep. And
they can't get a handle on this just yet, which makes Force India all the more impressive in that they're effectively flying blind. They're bringing stuff to the races and they don't know what it's going to do to the car.
So when are we expecting them to sort this out?
Probably, well, hopefully after the Bahrain test we just had, where they can just run laps for correlation's sakes. That was my understanding. But yeah, all the more impressive that Force India are where they are. So yeah, well done.
That, and also the team principal, Malia, was arrested.
Yes, he was.
Vijay Mallya, he was arrested in London. This is about his airline.
His airline, Kingfisher Airline, yeah.
Did it own 900 million, or it lost 900 million, and so there's an investigation into this?
Yeah, it owed a lot of money. So yeah, that's just a tax thing. Yeah. See, this is what happened when your name's not Bernie Ecclestone.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Bazinga. Anyway, predictions fucking Jolie and Palmer fucking qualifying.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. Right. Well,
Fast.
I have actually written out a little tally at the moment. We are drawn 2-2 at the moment.
Oh, well, I'm not scoring any points on this one.
After the first two races, I got 2 points in the first race. You got 2 points in the second race. And so we move on to the third race. Okay. So you predicted Hamilton for pole position.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That did not happen. So there's no points there. I predicted Vettel. I did not get any points for that either.
Nil point.
The race. Do you remember who you predicted for the race?
I do not.
You predicted Daniel Ricciardo.
Damn it.
Daniel Ricciardo. Okay, so no points for that.
Nil point.
I predicted Sebastian Vettel.
Ah, you bastard.
I get a point for that. Okay, and in our third column, we decided to choose who would qualify last in Q1.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to get out the results for this. I just need qualifying one, back of the pack. Now, you went for Palmer, didn't you?
It seemed like a safe bet. In my defence, he's terrible.
Do you know where he finished in Q1?
Well, it wasn't last.
It was 8th. He was 8th in Q1. Huh? He clearly heard you. Clearly heard you.
Apparently so.
Yeah. And I went for Grosjean. So I got the right team.
Yeah, it's just the wrong one.
Just the wrong one. But I was closest to the pin because I'm not going to take a point, but I was closest to the pin because Grosjean
you're
was
taking
11th.
a moral you're taking a moral victory.
God damn it! Yeah, I'll take any victory I can take.
Yes,
of course I am. Okay, so
you're ahead. You're ahead by one.
Yeah, and do you know what? That's it. That's all I need. So we move on to Russia.
Yes, Russia. In Soviet Russia, car races you.
Okay. Do you reckon what's his name will be there? Of course,
Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know because Bernie's not going to be there, is he?
Yeah. I don't know.
Would you like some stats from last year?
Yeah, go on if you got some.
Okay, so last year pole position was a Nico Rosberg. Fastest lap was a Nico Rosberg.
Mm-hmm.
And the podium was a Nico Rosberg with Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen.
Okay.
If you're interested, where did Vettel finish last time out?
He didn't.
He didn't, no. He retired.
He got punted up the bum.
Yes, he did.
Yes. Okay, so with that in mind...
Fourth, though, in the Williams.
Who was?
Bottas.
Oh, okay. I feel like the Williams have gone pretty well there.
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before where Bottas was very close to getting pole position? They ended up skidding off at the last corner.
Well, he got third last year there, and again in the Williams. So yeah,
Right, so it might be that then.
Bottas tends to do well here.
Okay. So with all that in mind, who are you going to go for pole position?
Oh, I picked first last time, so it's your turn, my friend.
No, I think I picked first.
Did you?
Yeah, you go for it this time.
I'm going for it this time. All right, and well, I'm going to put Lewis on pole.
Okay.
The smart money's on Bottas, but I still think on his day Lewis is going to clinch it.
Okay. And for who am I going to choose? I don't know. I reckon Vettel. I'm going to go for Vettel, yeah.
Okay.
And for the race?
For the race. Ooh. It's down to the two fins for me. I'll go with Bottas.
You're going for Bottas. Okay. I was going to choose Bottas, but since you've chosen Bottas, who do I go for? Sorry, I'm going to go for Vettel again. I'm going Vettel. And third column, who do we want? What do we want? What do we
want for the third column? Ooh,
nothing McLaren or Renault related. It's just too easy.
It's too easy, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Fastest lap?
Yeah, why not? Let's have fastest lap.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that. So
no, that seems like an obvious one to do now. Fastest lap. I'm going to go with Lewis.
You're going with Lewis, yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Kimi Räikkönen. Remember, he's pulled out.
Could have gone with Vettel and had a clean sweep there.
Oh, man. Do I get extra points if I get the clean sweep?
No.
No, balls. Then what's the point? No. Okay.
It just makes, if he gets knocked out in at the beginning of a race, you've got double to lose.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you're going for pole position Hamilton, race Bottas, and fastest lap Hamilton.
Yes.
I am going for pole position Vettel, race Vettel, and fastest lap Kimi Räikkönen. Sounds good?
Yes.
Sounds
good. Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Good. Right. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me for this one. I'm looking forward to...
always a pleasure.
The Russian Grand Prix.
Da.
Do you like it?
Yeah. This is only our second time. This will be our third time there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it? Still not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be interested to see how vicious cars run at it.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm worried. I don't like this circuit. I like the long turn 3.
Yeah.
But that's about it. The rest of it is pretty... It's like Valencia. But the last Valencian Grand Prix was stonking. And I wish they'd go back there. Plus, my father-in-law lives in Valencia. So I'd like to actually visit it and watch the race.
You realise you live in the UK and there's a race held here every year?
That's not guaranteed sunshine, though, is it? Come on, let's be honest.
Well, to be fair, if it's a wet race, it's a more entertaining race.
Yeah, and about that as well. Where I've joined a new company,
mm-hmm.
They do the lifts in Silverstone.
Oh, nice.
And so I asked the question this week when I was up on training about doing the standby there. And I heard some things that I was not impressed with. I will tell you now. I won't name any names. But from what I've heard, there's been years where this company that I now work for have access all areas to anywhere you want in the circuit. And it's normally around the drivers' meeting, BRDC, all that sort
the
of
British
stuff.
Racing drivers, yeah.
So you know, Jackie Stewart, etc., all going to be there, and they do the lifts and they have the standby. And so you would go on site. You go on site on Friday, get paid for the Friday. You wouldn't get paid for Saturday or Sunday, but you get to see the race and you're there all weekend. And so I'm thinking, yeah, sounds good to me. Now, or last year, they made the guys that were doing the standby do the standby off the site in a field and wait to be called. And so I'm like, no, if I'm going there for no money, I want to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, but I don't want to be stitched up for no money whatsoever.
I was going to say, the ultimate irony is you're at Silverstone, you don't see any of the race.
Yeah. Now, that would be my luck. And I'll probably get stuck in mud.
Yeah.
Just to top it off. So
yeah.
I will keep you posted on that.
Yeah, that could be a fun live from Silverstone in a field. It's Elton McManus.
Yeah, definitely. If I can stick you in the back of the van, I will. But anyway, yes. Where was I going with that? I can't remember.
I have no idea. Anyway, Valencia, yes. No, I don't see that coming back anytime soon.
No. The Russian Grand Prix, I'm not a fan of it, but like you say, with the new cars, it might be a different ingredient this year.
Yes, we wait with bated breath. But yes, we're not recording on the Monday, are we? Can we do the Sunday?
Sunday, no, because my boy is doing a football tournament down in Bognor Regis, so I will be driving back the Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So are we going to be late for the Russian Grand Prix as well?
I'm around next week. I'm not flying anywhere, so this one's on you, mate.
Okay, so as soon as I'm back, then we can record, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so it might be a day or two late for you guys, but it will be out. Don't worry about that.
Fear not,
yeah.
Gentle viewers, listeners.
In the meantime, if you want to go to iTunes and give us some reviews, then you're always more than welcome to do that. That helps us up an imaginary ladder and spread the word for other people to find us. So, thank you to everyone who's done that previously. So, Andy, have you got anything to plug before we let these lovely people on their way?
Mate, I've been away for like a month. I've got no idea. I used to do something with you about Band of Brothers.
Yeah, well, that's going to be starting up again soon. Don't worry about that.
The Space Dock Jury, which, because we're efficient on that one, has not missed a beat while I've been gone.
I know, you're clever. You're clever.
Yeah.
You're far too clever.
Yeah, it's because we don't have feedback, so we don't have to wait for people to feedback on that. But yeah, that's over at space.jury.geekplanetonline.com for now. Also on the Book of Face, so go check that out.
Good. Okay, yeah. Please catch me on shangilab.com. Please catch me on Black Dog Podcast and the Band of Brothers podcast with Andy as well. So we're talking about Band of Brothers over there. Just pop along, ask us questions. We're both on Twitter. We're also, the podcast is on Twitter at Grand Prix Pod. So pop any questions there if you want to learn about anything about us.
Suggest third categories for us, because that's always a good one.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, there's also a Facebook group as well. Pop along there, join there, and then suggest the third tier categories on there. Why not?
Yes.
I'm sure we can.
Or other insults for McLaren, because I'm running out of them.
I don't know. I think they're going to do quite well, and they might be able to work some out for you for themselves. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, Andy, for joining me.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Jolly good. And we'll catch everyone ready for the Russian Grand Prix. Until then, see you later. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra.